How long has it been since I first walked down this path? There was no snow that day. The mountains were green with trees, moss, and lichen. The river was filled with jumping fish and nesting birds. Simple human dwellings dotted its shores. Now the storm reigns here, its long arms spreading out beyond the horizon and darkening the sky. Its eye centered perpetually around Mount Caracol, a pillar of cloudless sky in a vast dome of darkness. Only a fragment of paradise remains, locked away behind these peaks and surrounded by a storm that has been building since the first days of man. How long indeed? It's never had a name, this valley. We knew it only as the place where our dream began. Man has given it its true name, Shangri-La, and he has made it his own. He has filled it with houses and bridges and fields, redirected the mountain streams to irrigate his crops, and flattened the land to build his home. This is man's valley now, but our work will still live on here through the ages. When the others began their long awakening from the world, I was the only one to resist our fate. I decided to leave and explore the world, to get to know every place in creation as intimately as I knew this valley. As I moved through the world, I saw it change and evolve. It was beautiful. It was perfection. Every gust of wind, every flutter of a butterfly's wings, every birth and every death, all were the tunes of our song. Yet there was always something tugging at me, pulling me back here, to Shangri-La. I returned here many times over the eons, always to the same Shangri-La, always to a new Shangri-La. The landscape we had made remained essentially the same, but life kept finding new ways to inhabit it, and man new ways to reshape it to his liking. I know every stone in this valley, every cliff, and every crevasse of the great mountains above. When we crafted the world, the spirit of the mountain watched over the rest of us. He was a calm giant that gave us the canvas for us to paint our creations and constrained our wildest ambitions, so that we would not spend an eternity on this world alone. Not so long ago, the rocks were alive with his energy. Now, they had become cold and devoid of life, and the spirit of the mountain waits in the bells. Every tree in the valley is like a baby child, each one bringing back memories of the oaks and spruces we planted here in the first days. Their crowns claw at the sun, forever unreachable in the sky above, a majestic display of their dominance of the land. These woods were once alive, an organism greater than the sum of its parts. The spirit of the forest lived in each and every tree, filling every atom of their existence with energy and dignity, and it guarded all those creatures that dwelled under its roof. Now, the forest has lost its soul. The trees stand alone, silent and blind, and the spirit of the forest waits in the bells. The river Alf still congregates at the base of the valley, just as it did when our dream began. 5 mighty waterfalls feed it from every side as the water is pulled down by Alf's will. Once the river itself was alive, a fickle and treacherous creature, overflowing without warning, yet always leaving the soak soil richer than before. Now the waters have lost their soul, and Alf, the spirit of the river, waits in the bells of Shangri-La. Even as the spirits leave and wait for the awakening, Shangri-La is filled with consciousness. Men, women, and children are everywhere, making the most of the blink of an eye that is their lifespan. Their thoughts and emotions are intense, as they fit all the swellings of the soul into a mere moment, where we stretch it out across infinity. I do not know their names, but I know their souls all too well. I know their deepest desires, their sins, and their joys. I often take the shape of a young woman to interact with them, as it is the form they associate with me, the spirit of curiosity. And yet, I am always aware that none of this is real. I am not human, and I can never be. I can merely glimpse what their life must be like. With every passing day, I am growing more distant from the humans I have gotten to know. I am once more pulled away by fate, that unstoppable force, and now it will be for the last time. The others have all found refuge in the bells, and their creations stand abandoned, deprived of their souls. The mountains have submitted to the forces of the weather, trading their green nakedness for a dead cover of snow and ice. The forests grow dark and dangerous at night. The trees are deprived of consciousness and left to a life of blindness. The rivers and lakes are filled with life, but they live no longer. Everywhere in the world, the spirits are fading away. Man senses it. He may not be able to see us, but he knows in his heart that the world around him is dying, in a way he cannot fully understand. Just as we once lived in every tree and root, every rock and mountain, every fish and bird and snail and locust, we also inhabited the hearts of men. Our presence brought him peace and gave him a connection to all other creatures in existence. Now, as we leave the world, that bond is being severed and an emptiness is opening up inside him. There will forever remain a chasm in man's heart. He will never grasp what created this emptiness, this bottomless sadness, this timeless pain. He will search forever for what was taken from him, and in doing so he will reach the greatness that he is destined for. That is why we must awaken and leave the world, to give man the pain of purpose. Even spirits are sentimental. We could never accept that man would inherit all of our creation. So we made this place, this valley that man calls Shangri-La, and we composed an ever-growing storm to seal it off from the world. Even after we are gone, Shangri-La will still be ours in a way, the last remnant of our paradise. Now, the awakening is coming. I can no longer resist the pull of the bells. Soon, there will be nothing left for man to cling to. He will be alone in the universe, and we will have forgotten him as we go to work on a new world, a new universe, and a new race of men. Even as we awaken, our dream will live on. This world will keep spinning around its star, but our memories of it blur and fade away forever, the way all dreams do. At the dawn of this world, the bells of Shangri-La tolled. They sung a melody that we had composed for eons, a melody that became all of the universe, a rhythm that became the pulse of time, a scale that became the laws of nature. Through the bells we were born into the world in our current form, and we went to work, shaping our new creation. When man discovered the bells, he did not know what to make of them. He could sense their importance, their connection to the spirits inside him, and so he built a grand temple in their midst to honor us. Now that our work is done, it is through the bells that we leave this place and awaken once more in our true home. Once have they tolled, and once more they shall toll. When the last spirit awakens from this dream, the bells of Shangri-La will ring for the last time, and then be silent until the end of days.